All right, guys, how's it going? Jeff with Area North 40 here, and I'm about to head outside and work on Luna, the blue Volkswagen Bug, 73 Bug that I have. And so let's get out there and take a look at what's up. All right, nice and bright outside. A little bit warm, kind of muggy, but I'm gonna get out here and do some stuff. So as you hopefully have seen in a previous video, this is my 1973 Volkswagen Beetle, or Super Beetle in this case. I don't know if I really said a whole lot about that in the other video, but as I understand it, the Super Beetle came out officially in 1971, which is my birth year, and I would rather have that just because of that. But the other reason I'd kind of rather have that is because they still had the flat windshield, whereas this one has this rounded effect. And I think 71 and 72, the Super Beetle still had the flat window, and 73, this is the first year that they had that rounded window. Probably a better thing in some aspects, just because it probably gives it a little bit more aerodynamics. But for classic look and all that, the flat window is just the one that people want, and the one that I want. For one thing, you can actually do a safari window on the flat one, where you have those brackets I mentioned in a previous video, where you can actually make the window tip out almost like wing windows, or rear windows that have the pop outs, which I have some pop outs to put on this. Won't get to that in this video. I've had them for a while, I just haven't gotten to it. And but anyway, moving on. Last time I drove this thing, I just ran it up to the store, which is about 3 miles away, and then over to a friend's house that's about a mile away. On the way to the store, it kind of hesitated and it died once. I started it back up and continued on, but on the way home it died, and it was having a hard time getting going. It was acting like it was running out of gas. Ain't got no gas in it. It's not out of gas. I need to figure out why it's doing that. All right, all kidding aside, it did have gas in it. I looked in there. You can't really see because the tube goes down and you lose sight, but I shook it around a little bit and I could hear the gas sloshing around in there. I just put a little bit more in there just to make sure, in case it's low and the pickup is like you know, starting to starve a little bit. I don't think that's the issue, but let's give it a shot now. So let's see what happens. Well, the battery's good. Well, the issue is not the battery, clearly, but something's not quite catching. Let me squirt a little bit of carb clean into the carburetor real quick. Oh, shoot. Maybe not. I'm all out. Let's try it again. Alrighty, well, there we go. Definitely has enough fuel. I mean, I put, you know, half that tank of gas, which is a 5-galloner, so at least 2 or 2.5 gallons in there on top of what was in there. It's not been sitting so long that the gas should have gone bad. I don't think that's the issue. You know, anything that stops a thing from getting that combustion it'll act the same way, whether you run out of gas or if you lose spark or something along that line. I don't know how you would suddenly lose compression, but you know, if you threw a rod or something like that, now I would have heard that would have been obvious. So it's one of two things. It's either gas isn't making it where it needs to go, or there's no spark. And I don't think that there's a problem getting the gas where it needs to go. I think the spark, for some reason, it might just be a loose wire. But let's get back there and see if I can wiggle something around, see if something seems loose or whatever, and maybe clean up some contacts or something like that. All right. Okie dokie, so the deck lid here does not have a way to keep it up. I found this chain guard that is not meant to be used as a hood holder, so I'm going to use it as a hood holder or deck lid holder. And look at that, it perfectly matches almost-ish. Let's see if it'll do the trick. Not gonna be long enough, is it? How about right here, right next to the electronics? Think that'll work? How about this way? There we go. All right, now something I noticed right off the bat, that is the fuel filter, and if it's as dirty on the inside as it is on the outside, that right there might be what our issue is. And look at these hoses. They look like they're original. They don't even they don't even have any kind of hose clamp on them. I guess it's just so crusty and crusted on there, it doesn't actually need it. We'll grab some tools here. Well, I can blow air through it, but one thing I noticed is that this thing is dry as a bone. I mean, I'm going to get a new one of these no matter what, because it's clearly pretty nasty, but I'm wondering if it's actually my fuel pump is not pumping. That's a whole other issue. Made in Brazil, according to that right there. So this I do not believe to be an original fuel pump. It's an aftermarket one. I don't remember. I've been told something about stuff made in Brazil. I don't remember if it was good or bad. I'll tell you, if it isn't pumping, I would say bad. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on for a moment. Just gonna crank it over and see if any gas kind of spurts out of there. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can find some brake cleaner starting fluid somewhere else and squirt some down in there and fire it off and see if it'll catch that way. Because if it'll fire off from brake or some sort of combustible, ether, whatever, clearly it's not a spark issue, it's a fuel issue. And seeing that and seeing that it's not even wet in there, I don't think this thing's pumping fuel. And if it's a bad fuel pump, well, that might dash my hopes of driving this today, because I don't have an extra one, and it's not the kind of thing. I mean, I'll go up to O'Reilly's to get a new fuel filter and see if they have one, but I highly doubt that they carry that fuel filter, and if they do, it's probably, you know, astronomically expensive. So give me a minute to get some stuff to squirt down in there, and we'll see what happens. Well, here's the luck that I have. Here's the empty one that I, you know, have depleted. So I took the little nozzle at the top like that, and I found this one here that's still got a little bit in there. Can you hear that? Yeah, I was just gonna simply put this on there, but if you look really closely, one of these things is not like the other. Can you see that? This one here has got this little extra part here. It looks like it broke off on this one, so that's going to make it a little bit more challenging, but let's see if I can squirt some in there without blowing up my face. Safety reader glasses on. All right, well, that was a one-time use apparently. Let's see what happens. That was fun. Guess what? Jeez. Well, theory confirmed. No harm, no foul to that. Okay, I got it. This fell down into the carburetor. Not a good thing. But I retrieved it, and no curse words were harmed in the making of that section of the whatever. Anyway, I need to figure out why this thing is not pumping. All right, so I have moved the bug to level ground at the suggestion of my buddy Ted, just to make sure that the tank is at where it should be, the pickup's in the right spot, and all of that. I don't think it really would have made much of a difference. My driveway is slanted, but it's not like it's a 90-degree angle. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this relatively clear bottle. I'm going to take this filter back off and, you know, dispose of that. And then I'm going to put the hose into this bottle, and I'm going to crank the engine over a little bit and see if any fuel comes from here into there. I've got this much more almost stable stick of some sort to hold the hood up, so hopefully it won't come crashing down again. Oh, the irony. All right, well, there you have it. So the reason it still fired is because there was still a little bit of that starting fluid in the carb, and that's why it kind of popped off a little bit. But again, that once again pretty well confirms. I mean, there's a tiny bit of gas in there, but a lot more should have poured into there for how much I cranked it. It should have, you know, been significantly more than that. Let's just go ahead and pour that right on into there. Now, when a car is actually running, the pump is running better or more efficiently, and I think it's hit or miss. I think that this pump is going out. I don't think it's all the way out, so that's why it's getting a little bit in there. But let's try that trick again, see if the thing, I just poured that gas right into the carb. We'll see if that actually causes it to run for a few seconds rather than just kind of almost running. Okay, well now, that time it actually ran a little bit better, or excuse me, it ran a little bit more and it pumped more in here. Well, let's do this. It still could have been just that filter was not filtering. I have had it where a filter looked cleaner than that and it actually killed the thing. So maybe it's just the filter, because that time a pretty good amount, just that little sputtering running that it did, pumped that much gas into here. So let's do this. This is exactly why I bought this thing. Well, actually, Carly got me this for a gift. And I don't even think it was my birthday or nothing. I think she just did it because she's so sweet. Love you, baby. So let me put a little bit right down into here. Of course, it might help if I took the little rubber tip off. I'm smarter than stuff. Okay, try again. Get that into the bowl. All right, I'm gonna do it again one last time. I'm gonna put this into here. At this point, I just kind of have to, because I've taken that filter off, so I need it to have a place to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up and see if it'll idle for a moment on there, and I'll kill it if this thing starts to get too full. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. That thing's pumping it out really good once it's actually running. So I guess I can conclude nothing more than it's actually, the fuel pump is fine. It's just that fuel filter was so clogged up it wouldn't allow it up there. So let's run to the store, and by that I mean I'm going to run to O'Reilly's or AutoZone. I can't take you along with me because they don't sponsor me, and so I don't have the free reign to just carry a camera around in their store and look at things and say bleep bloop and stuff like that. So I'll be back in just a little bit and put a new air filter on here. I'm gonna get a couple other things like some more starting fluid and a few things like that, and then this thing fired up and get her going. All right, I'm back from the auto parts store. I also made a run for the border and had some lunch. Hopefully it doesn't make me run for the bathroom. Anyway, this is the new fuel filter. It's got a little arrow right there. Let me know that the flow should go that direction. So I'm gonna put that here. All right. So that's back on there. Before I put the air filter back on, I'm gonna go ahead and see if you can fire this thing up and get some fuel pumping up into there. And we should see fluid. You won't see it in the line obviously, but you should see it starting to pour into there, and should start up. And let's hope that this thing doesn't rattle and fall down. So let's go. Okay, here we go. Well, would you look at that? See? All right. Still don't have a microphone, so hopefully talking this close you can hear it, but you can see the gas is nice and fully up in there, and yeah, it's a little bit cold still, but she be running. I'm gonna go shut it off for a minute. All right, so there we go, got her running. I don't really have time to do a proper cleaning of the engine bay because I got to get to some other stuff. Grandkids are going to be here pretty soon, so I'll be hanging out with them, and they'll be taking up more of my time than I'll have to mess with this. But I'll throw the fix-a-flat in that front tire and take it for a drive. All right, and then according to the instructions, I gotta do the thing like the thing says, and we'll just skip down to number 6. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Drive it 2 to 4 miles. So let's go take it for a drive. All right, fired up. Let's roll that window down. How about that? All right, here we go. Just gotta take it for a little drive. Get the tire to rotate all that goo that I just stuck into it. Well, there we have it. It seems to run pretty good. I'm a little concerned. It's still, when I get up on the RPMs, it kind of cuts out a little bit. I don't know if that's just some tuning or if it's actually starving for gas a little bit. but I just don't have time to really dial it in any better than what I have. It got me around the big blocks, so to speak. So the overall summary is that I thought that there was something more major going on, and it turned out it was just a stupid fuel filter. And you know, always start with the simple. Don't assume the worst. Don't assume that, you know, you've got the worst thing possible wrong with it. Start with the small stuff. A fuel filter is cheap. It's a couple bucks. If it seems like it's starving for fuel, throw a new fuel filter on there and start there and work your way up the chain, I guess you could say. Oh, and by the way, this big old splotch of oil, fear not, that is just my clumsiness trying to put oil in it, so nothing to worry about there. As far as environmental impact, guess what this is? This is what they call chip seal. They throw a bunch of gravel down and then they pour oil on it, and they call that a road. My least favorite, and it really irritates me that I pay a lot of taxes for them to just do such a crappy job repaving my road. But so I don't have one tiny little bit of guilt about the oil I spilled. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, all right, see you at the show. All right, guys, well, about to pull into the bug show, or V-dub show, so let's go in and take a look at what we got. All right, guys, here we are at the show. Here's Luna, looking much better. Not perfect, but better. Put these little eyelash thingies on, or whatever they call them, eyebrows, I think they call them. But anyway, gives a little bit of personality. Makes it a little bit more, look a little more feminine like she is, because, you know, her name's Luna. But anyway, all right, let's walk around and see what we got. So this is the first of a few that I'm going to show you that are actually the owner of this property. He does custom work, and this is about as custom as it gets. This thing is so cool. It's a Volkswagen Bug, but the engine is actually up front. See how it's got that tip out Safari style front window there? But he's made it into a little pickup, and it's on the ground, but drivable. He moves this thing around, and I would assume he drives it down the road every once in a while anyway. It's got a collector plate on it. Then there's this one. Tribute to the Red Baron, I guess. If you didn't know it, Volkswagens are German, so the Red Baron was German. Makes sense. Very cool. Got another Bug turned into a truck. Got that Safari front window. That's what I want to do on the Chevy Love, is get the back window to tip out like that. See, he does it on that back window. Can you see that? This one's like a combination of a bus and a Bug. I don't know what the heck is going on with this. This might not actually be a custom. This might be just somewhat custom, like lowered, but this might actually be a factory vehicle. If it's not, man, he did some killer work on this thing, because he made it. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's got the round windows. So this is actually a newer Bug front anyway. It's more like mine. That is so cool. All right, and here's the last of his custom slammerific. This is an oval window, so this would have been a really valuable car, but I think it was probably just completely rotten on the bottom, so this is what he did with it. But very cool. Herbie's showed up. It's Herbie the love bug. Very cool. I'll come back to that in a minute. And that is a clean ride. This is also a clean bus. I like it. That one's nice, but the split windows are the way to go, but they're also a lot more expensive. Very clean, very nice. All right, here we go. Herbie the love bug. If this isn't what got you into bugs when you were a kid, then I don't know what did, because this is the first beat-up bug that I ever knew anything about, and I can't say that I saw it and said one day I'm gonna have one, but it definitely put it in my mind. I love it. Now, the true Herbie was a 63, and this is I just confirmed with the owner, it's a 66, but they were almost unchanged through that era. The windows were slightly smaller on the 63, and that's the biggest difference, and that's why I thought it might not be a 63, but very cool. All right, and we're back to Luna. This is a pretty nice bus next to us, though. Get my rickety old chair out of here. Anyhow, so that'll be it. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off, wrap the video up. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, share it, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of these videos. I'm not getting a whole lot of comments, just one or two from the same folks, which I appreciate, but I'd like to hear from more of you. And I do try, if you say anything that is something that you want to hear a comment back about, or if you have a question, you know, absolutely, I'll try and respond to everything. It's pretty easy when there's only 2 or 3 of you making comments. So anyway, all right, I'm out of here. Stay tuned.